It's look, it's got fucking energy. It's got fat. You know, it's a little bit. It's got a bit of sugar. It's got the fiber. It's got the protein. It's got the salt. You just gotta eat it. That's all you gotta do. Just fucking eat it. Just fucking eat it, man. Fucking eat the biscuit. It's just, look. Yeah. What the fuck do you ask for biscuits for? You're not starving. You're not starving. Fucking size of you, man. Look at the fucking size of you. Ridiculous. More for me, then. A cheeky fucking bastard, you know? Right, so it's one of these fucking situations again. Every Friday, well, not every Friday, that's a lie. But now and again I get bored. Last Friday I wasn't bored. I was playing the game. The game, you know, the game. But now I'm bored. Now I'm bored. Yeah, now I'm bored. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here on my ass and we're going to see what happens. Look, I'm not going to beat up the penguin. I mean, he's a cheeky fucker. Aren't ya? But, you know, he means no harm. He means very little harm. What you expecting, magic? I love how every stream people are like, he's drunk, but I don't drink. I'm drinking tea. I'm not drunk. I don't drink alcohol. I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I'm just bored. That's all. Now, I've done the magic trick stuff before, and there's a rule. Brianna M, let's play Truth or Dare. How the fuck is that gonna work on a live stream? I always speak the truth. But look, there's a rule of magic, and that's never do the same trick twice. If I keep doing the trick, people are gonna start figuring it out. You know? I'll give it one more fucking go, right? I'll give it one more go. Okay? I'll do the trick one more time, but this is it for a while. Okay? It's a magic trick. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a magic trick. I'm a magical man. I was born of magic, you know? J.K. Rowling made me magic. Or was it gay? I'm not sure. But she definitely made me magic. So, what I'm going to do... what the fuck's this? Do I have any chance with Lucy Blackheart 4, 5, 6? Probably not. Probably not. J.K. Rowling was trending again. Not that I bothered to look into it, but... she's an interesting person. Right. Okay. For those of you, Carmen, of course I'm not gay, unless you're just a bloke and you haven't told me. You know, we can talk about this, Carmen. You know, it's not a discussion. But all right, I'll do the magical trick. I'm gonna have to switch to this. There we go. Okay, right. Now then, this is the trick, and I'm gonna do. I need a ball. This is the trick, and I'm only gonna do this once. Where's my wand? It's my wand, right? We've got a ball, okay? It's going there. We've got a cup, okay? Empty cup. We're going to put the cup Did I just drop my wand? We're going to put the cup down, right? We're going to take the ball, okay? We are going to grasp it tightly. And we're going to go, ah! And then the ball is there. How does it happen? I don't know. That's it. That's the magic trick. Now, fuck you. It's probably my fault for fucking naming this stream The Magical Man. I am magic, of course. But, you know, I've done that trick too many times on stream. So I'll come up with some new material. Some person just said lame. You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you. Look, the moment I start teleporting about the place, that's when you get to fucking compliment me, right? I'll get there. So anyway, what have you guys been up to? You know? What have you guys been up to? What's been happening in your realms? Break my wife's teeth in, please. A drunk Zach. Oh. What? Magically? I can do it magically. You get the magical spade, and you wield it with your magical arms, and then you just sort of aim for the top lip. Lee, I'm not gonna dab. No. Impossible. But what have you guys been up to? Nothing. Gaming. Can he make your virginity magically disappear? Can I? That's I think Professor Dumbledore teaches that trick. He used to. That's probably why he was sent to Azkaban. I think that spell's been added to the forbidden list. But yeah. I am Tommy Wiseau. The Lazarus experiment worked. I can finally make my masterpiece again. The Rooms 2 this time. You know? It's perfect. It's perfect. I'm just watching the chat go by. Trying to figure out what the fuck the point is. You should dance. You think I can dance? Bold of you to assume. Bold of you to assume. Right. Well, now what? But someone just said do something. I'm not here to entertain you. That's the thing. I say this every stream. This isn't for you. This is for me. I'm bored. So, you know, someone introduce a topic and we'll get a conversation going. My magic trick is magically giving you money from the other end of the world. Well, that's a terrible magic trick. I'll send that right back. Or I'll waste it on tea. How do you like that? Only messing. It all goes towards the rendering anyway. That's expensive. That's like $200 a month just for the flat fee. And then you've got like fucking... on top of that, if you need to get more things rendered within a timely manner, you've got to, you know, it's a charge per frame, and if you're dealing with thousands of frames, it's you know, it can add up. Patrick Star in the stream. Oh my god, thank you, Patrick. But yeah, fuck. It's kind of expensive. It's exponential with animation. I mean, when you animate something really simple, like when you start out and you're just making a simple character or a simple scene, you don't need something like a big rendering farm to pay into, because that's just, you know, it's just very, very sort of simple. It's one frame or a few frames, and that's alright. It's when you start having to actually render thousands and thousands of frames, that's when you start to need to think like, oh, I actually need to buy a service here. I need a render farm. I need a lot more. And that's when you start having to sort of hemorrhage money in order to get stuff done. Especially if you want it done in time. Animating is just like one portion of it, of the time it takes, and then the rest is just rendering. Brianna M, why don't you do an entire monologue from V for Vendetta and see if you could do it in one go? I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. You failed. Unbelievable. Incredible. You know. Fuck. The world's sort of gone mad, hasn't it? Has anyone been on Twitter? The fucking... It's like half PlayStation memes and then half bullshit of, you know, crazy stuff going down. You know. Did anyone see the PlayStation event, by the way? That was ridiculous. What I don't understand about, like... Right, okay. Let's see if you guys agree. So there's the sort of technological cap, which basically dictates how much you can actually do with a console. And then there's the vision of the people making the games. And so when they say, oh, the next generation of gaming, sure, the PlayStation 5 might be capable of giving us fantastic innovative games, but that's not going to happen if people don't make the innovative games. Spout handle lid of metal, finish it. I don't know. Steam Geek, I do not know. Most of these are going over my head, but all I saw in that fucking PlayStation thing was just everything we've seen before. One game that I'd love to sort of like, one game that I'd love to exist is like, it'd be like a 5-player game, and you would start out in this massive city. You can choose London, Tokyo, New York, wherever. First person, and there's a timer counting down from like, say, 10 minutes before ground zero or something, and you've got 10 minutes to get ready. And then after the 10 minutes, a huge monster either comes from the sky or the water or from the ground and basically completely destroys the city, and you've got to survive in the city while it's sort of breaking down buildings, and you've got to try and get out in different ways, and you can choose what monster to destroy the city and what city to be in, but it's all sort of generated. That's next gen. That's sort of like fucking what I would want to you know, to play. But no, they don't do it. Instead, it's more of the same. So yeah, like Reverse Rampage, yeah, that'd be fun. They did something like that in Destroy Humans 2, where there was like this giant monster that comes out of the ocean and starts blowing shit up. But then it sort of... That was years ago. That was on PlayStation 2. And then they tried it with Evolve, but that didn't work. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not much else, is there? Everything's just sort of staying the same. We've sort of plateaued, I think. Hey, Fairness, still supporting you. And when Bob Squishy Plushie coming out? Christ. I could make so much money, you know, off that. But there are some things even I won't do. Christ, I've completely lost faith in Bethesda. They just sort of suck now. They did Fallout 4, which was just a big disappointment, and then they did Fallout 76, which was just a fucking disaster. So yeah, basically, nothing's really happening in the world. The theatre industry is probably going to go down. A lot of other entertainment things are probably going to go down. And yeah, they're sort of taking down comedy shows as well. What the fuck's up with that? They took an episode of Fawlty Towers down because it had the N-word in it. Unaware of the fact that the joke was how stuck in the past the character saying it was. You know, it wasn't something to laugh with the character. It's laughing at the character for being so non-perceptive. If we're not allowed to just sort of make jokes about things, then where the fuck are we going? It's ridiculous. Yeah, and the In-Betweeners, YouTube, all that stuff got deleted. I don't know why, but they just took it all down. But you're not allowed to fucking make a joke anymore. Even if the joke is well intended. You know, even if you just want to fucking make a joke. You know, some people will take it the wrong way. We're too thin-skinned. That's 2020 for you. We're regressing. Everything's too sensitive. Because everything can be just sort of misinterpreted, and then they want their misinterpretation to be what it was supposed to be. You know, it's just like, oh, you meant this, didn't you? No, I didn't. That's completely the opposite of what I meant. Well, I'm gonna assume that you meant that, so I can continue to have a reason to exist by fighting against it. You know, for fuck's sake. Can't we just leave good, like, the comedy shows of the past alone? You know? Because what does that say about us? You know, if we're not even allowed to have fictional characters say offensive things, then where does that leave storytelling? Does that mean even villainous characters aren't allowed to be too villainous? Because if they say something that's too nasty, it will offend people. Does that mean that we can't write accurate dialogue set in the past? Because if they say things that they said back then, that'll upset people. You know, how far does this rabbit hole go? I don't get it. Hi, Mechas. Keep smiling. I fully agree with you on that. People are misunderstanding a lot of things these days. Yeah, they are. You know. But honestly, it's like that Fawlty Towers thing. The character who said the offensive word was called Major, like an old dottery man who was caught up in like being in the war, you know. And the joke is that he's so caught up in the past that he hasn't learned the nuance of the present time he's living in, so he says shit like that. And that's the joke. It's funny because of how ridiculous it is to us now. We're laughing at that thing. We're laughing at his lack of awareness. But if you start censoring that, then you're just censoring the thing that you yourself stand for. Of course it's not okay to say that now. In a public bloody hotel room. Of course it's not. You don't just blurt that out. That's the joke. For fuck's sake. Oh, it's ridiculous. Soon comedy will just be... Soon all fucking fiction and stuff like that will just be... And it's actually turning that way. It will all just be literal. Literally making fun of things that... Rather than using some sort of analogy or using any form of poetry because that's too confusing or that's too offensive, it will just all be very literal. It's all about what's happening now, today. Everything, there's always been this argument that does politics belong in fiction? The answer is yes, if the politics is integrated into the story with the rest of the fiction. The problem is people are using real world politics now and using that in their fiction, and that doesn't meld well. You have a story set, on an alien world, and they're making references to Trump, and they're making references to like they do it in Doctor Who now. And fiction's supposed to be smarter than that. Storytelling's supposed to be smarter than that. It's all about what's happening in the world now, and it's fine to do commentary like that. But you've got to sort of translate it. It's got to be transformative. It's got to blend in and make sense within the context of the fiction. And by saying, well, you're not allowed to say this in your story anymore, you're not allowed to use that word or use that term, your fictional character isn't allowed to be that way. Well, you've just destroyed all creativity with that mindset. You've just wiped all art off the face of the earth with that mentality, to suggest that we're not allowed to do certain things in fiction. Fiction. People aren't writing Mein Kampf, People aren't writing like it's not like a guide. We should do this, Game of Thrones. It's not a manual. Let's put someone like Joffrey in charge. It's saying, hey, look at this bastard. Fucking is it not are you not entertained? There's nuance to the world, and people don't. A lot of people. Well, I say a lot of people. A sect of people now don't pick up on that nuance, and they take it personally all the time. Everything's an attack now when it's not. Characters in Game of Thrones are sexist and racist and all this stuff. Maybe they are. You know what else they are? Not real characters that are involved in their own fictional medieval world. Do you expect them to think and act like us? And hold the same values that we have? Again, just wiping all fucking fiction off the face of the earth. Madness. Anyway, let's read some of these. Welcome to post-mortem modern, the age where oil drilling is secretly searching for the sinking bar. Yeah. There was another one, actually. A lot of people can't get subtlety. You do sometimes get people complaining about villains being problematic, not getting that that's the point. Yeah, there was a thing about Darth Vader recently where Darth Vader killed like a woman, and people got upset at that. It's fucking Darth Vader. What do you expect? Fuck. There's a fucking fantastic fucking quote that summarizes my opinions on this very, very nicely. It's by S.M. Stirling. There is a technical term for someone who confuses the opinions of a character in a book with those of the author. The term is idiot. That's all you need to say on the matter. Let characters be offensive. Let characters be, you know, fucking whatever it is they want to be. They're characters in a story that isn't real. They're not textbooks. They're not guides. They're not non-fiction. They're not a big, oh, let's do this. Let's think like this. No, it's a story. You know, it ain't real. So when I see the In-Betweeners possibly getting like all this YouTube stuff taken down for being too offensive, and when I see Faulty Towers getting an episode taken down because a character used a word, it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Oof. Ridiculous. Well, fiction's in big trouble in terms of like big companies, because now it's more important to them to land in a certain space politically than it is to tell a good story. Oh well, we've got to make this change to show that how good an ally we are to this movement. But fantastic, you can do that, but at what cost? At the cost of the story? You know, it's like these big, huge corporations, rather than just practicing, you know, what they preach in their games or their films, they feel they need to like force it down our throats at every turn and force this sort of like overly virtuous shit into our media and constantly remind us, oh yeah, this is a problem in the world. Have you ever heard of fucking escapism? Have you ever heard of nuance? Christ on a bike, you know? It's that Batwoman show. It's like, oh, the suit is perfect. Yes, it will be when it fits a woman. Get it? You at home watching? Do you get that? Hear that? You fucking bastards! Hear the fucking back glass ceilings going down, motherfuckers! Hear that? Anyway, it's like, and you're just home like this. What the fuck? What am I? Jesus Christ! Tell a story. Entertain me. That's how it's like. That's what it's like, you know. Christ Almighty. And I've even started making a fucking list. Where is it now? Yeah, God, we got all these. Here we go. It's my list of dead franchises. Here we go. We've got Predator, Alien, Star Wars, Chucky, Jurassic Park, Toy Story, Star Trek, Transformers, Harry Potter, Marvel, pretty much just fucking Marvel, Pirates of the Caribbean, and pretty much Disney now. I like the old Disney stuff, but all they do is remake rather than innovate. Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully we'll bounce back from this. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just sick of pandering by these big companies. I'm sick of virtue signaling. I'm sick of this fucking this thing now where it's not enough to be a good person. You've got to show everyone how good you are. You know. I'm sick of fucking trying to watch a film or a show that I like, and then it just goes off as this weird tangent. It doesn't have to be like that. War of the Worlds, a book written in the 1800s about alien invaders from Mars, was about a genuine human fear of invasion and foreign threat. Beautifully told through the guise of an alien invasion from Mars. It didn't get personal. It didn't point the finger and say, you're the fucking problem. It didn't virtue signal. It told a good fucking story with a really good fucking meaning. And there's a reason we still read books like that today. You know. But now, it's all about, oh, how can we sneak in a jab at this person or that person? Oh, remember to fit in this or that. You know. People don't like that. People don't fucking like that. I think shows and books and films can be deep. They don't need to be. They don't have to be deep. You know? You can watch Airplane, you know, and it's a fantastic comedy. It has pretty much fuck all to say other than parodying the disaster films at the time, you know. But it's fantastic. You know, you can play something like Doom 2016, which is just straight into fucking death, and have a wonderful time. You know, of course it doesn't need that depth, but if you're gonna try and do the whole depth thing, do it right. Do it within the sort of context of your own story. And build up to it. And don't preach, for fuck's sake. You know. A Sharknado, exactly. Oof. So yeah. Oh. 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 I was talking about J.K. Rowling before. Look at that. Look at what happened there. You know, you got a children's book series. You know, and then next thing you know, she's talking about how wizards shit themselves. You know, making it so that Dumbledore's gay, and maybe he was gay, but you had 7 books to work that in. You didn't think it was sort of prudent to mention that? You can't just say it on Twitter after the fact. It's, again, pandering. And Zach Ulysses, if you had free artistic license with any IP, what IP and what sort of story would you tell? Fuck, I don't know. I'd hopefully try and tell some new ones, but if I don't know. It all sort of fucking does, because they've been done. You see, it's just like they've been done a million times. Who wants another Terminator? Honestly, can't we just accept the fact that it was a brilliant pair of films, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2? Who wants another one? Who wants to see Old Man Arnold? Who wants another Alien? Or another Predator? You know, why keep, you know, why keep fucking telling the same stories over and over again? Reinvented for a new generation. What's that mean? Was the old one not good enough anymore? Fuck. I put it down to boredom. People are bored. They want a cause to fight for. They want something to sort of like get behind, and that's fine. Some people take it too fucking far. You know, and they start, you know, when they can't control their own emotions, they start trying to control other people, dictating what you can and can't say. You're not allowed to say that. You know, you're not allowed to fuck it, you know. If I could make a film, I'd probably try and I'd probably do War of the Worlds, since I brought it up, because that's never been done justice as a film. There is no accurate War of the Worlds film. There's the book, which is fantastic, and there's adaptations, you know, and the films, you know, depends on your taste, but none of them are accurate. You know, I'd do a proper Victorian War of the Worlds sort of story. Or a film of Doctor Who and the Daleks. That'd be good. But not the current version of Doctor Who. Fuck that. That's gone down the shitter. Again, they've same thing with Doctor Who. They've just forced in all this stuff that doesn't make sense. You know. Now they've gone back to the Doctor Who's origin and fucked with it, because the original Doctor Who 50 years ago wasn't progressive enough. So we're gonna go back and completely fucking rewrite the William Hartnell era and change it and fuck with it, because that's what we want, isn't it? Like borderline vandalism, borderline fucking revisionist. You know, rather than just fucking leaving it alone. They had to go and fuck with it, didn't they? They had to go and they had to lick their fucking finger and stick it in the Doctor Who pie and say, that's mine. Get your finger out that fucking pie, you cunt. That's our pie. This is a show that bridged the generational gap, you bastards. Do you know what you're fucking doing there? Ugh. Madness. It's the way the world is now. It's not about telling a good story or making a good point or getting people lost in a fantastic world. And yes, sure, I'm of the opinion that good fiction isn't a window to another world, it's a mirror. But great fiction is a fucking funhouse mirror that distorts and exaggerates parts of ourselves in ways that are funny, scary, entertaining, and insightful. And terrible fiction is a flat fucking window that says, no, those distortions are offensive, flatten it all out. And then you end up with just a mirror. And that's what you end up with, just Doctor Who. You watch Doctor Who, and all it does is tell you, just virtue signal to you into your fucking brain about how terrible the world is now, without any sort of like fucking like intelligence. just fucking, you suck straight up to your face. You're a cunt. You watching this now? Fuck you. Be better. Ooh, back in the fucking TARDIS. You know. Fuck off. No wonder the ratings have gone down. People don't want that shit. That's what was so good about South Park. Because it was a reflection of ourselves, but it was exaggerated and funny and hilarious. You know. FF Star, I think a lot of it is creators are getting lazy and running out of original ideas. Do they refuse the old? Just look at what they did to Teen Titans. Yeah, look at like that. What was it? I fucking the one with the fucking cat people in it. Not cats. They did the cartoon show Thundercats. Look at what they did to that. In that terrible fucking art style where everything's just a fucking blob with no form or structure or just a blob. And that can be fine if it was any good, but fuck. I tell you what it is, it's fear. People are too scared to make, like, within Hollywood and within the large the upper echelon of these fucking showrunners there's an agenda. There's a clear political agenda, you know, whereby they are prepared to risk the success of their game or film or show because being on the right side of history is more important to them than doing their job. And to them, the right side of history is delivering shit to our doors. You know, like what they did with Battlefield, where they took a group of soldiers, wrote them out of their own story, a story that actually happened in real life, and replaced it with a mother and a daughter because that's progressive. Just completely like fucking brain dead. Like, people actually died on that mission, you know, and you're gonna fucking rewrite it and sell it to us as a game because you think it's fucking... What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop! You know, they've got a game set in World War fucking 2, and you've got, like, you know, a woman with a fucking, you know, with a claw hand and a baseball bat, because that's progressive, I guess. But it didn't fucking happen, did it? Alternate universe, go mad. Go fucking mad. Do it Wolfenstein. Perfect example. But no, they have to push this thing and say, no. You know, I think the game creator himself said, well, I want my daughter to know that, you know, girls can be soldiers as well. That's a great message. Fantastic message. You know, a message arguably conveyed in Aliens, Starship Troopers, Wolfenstein. Maybe not in World War II, because little Emily, it didn't exactly happen that way. That's not how history went. And we're sort of selling a game based on bullshit because we want to virtue signal and look good in front of our... Fuck off. Gabriel Irving's... They don't even have... They don't... Hang on. They don't have to even go far back for good inspiration. Look at the Fray. I have no idea how to pronounce that. The Morrigan... So many good stories just waiting to be told in a new way. Well, yeah, I don't know why they didn't just come up with a new story. What's so hard about that? What is so hard about that? We're gonna make Thor a woman. Why? Just create a new character. Make us fall in love with this new female superhero. Why do the old switcheroo? Isn't that insulting to women? Like, oh, you're not deserving of an original character. Just take Thor, slap some tits on, and there you go. There's your representation. Fuck you. Fuck you, cheeky bastard. You know? Look at Horizon Zero Dawn, a game with a female protagonist that everyone loves. No one's got a problem with it because it's a good story. It's a good game. It's original. No, people aren't sexist. They just want good stories. They don't want Batwoman talking shit about how men are pigs. Who the fuck wants that? You know? They're not sexist. They're just not dumb. They don't want to be pandered to. Good fuck. But they don't get that. They're just like fucking... They're always 10 years behind. Have you noticed? The fucking people up there making the decisions, they're always like 10 years behind the current mood. And then by the time they catch up, things have changed again. This whole... Oh, God. You know, they're treating it like, oh yes, and for the first time, we're going to have a true female protagonist. Ripley? You know? I just mentioned fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. All too fucking recently. That fucking blue woman from Avatar. She wasn't useless. You know? Kill Bill. It's... It's fucking... Mortal Engines is another one. Harry Potter, Hermione. You know? Lara Croft, thank you. Oh, there's countless. But rather than coming up with a new idea, you know, they just say, well... What we'll do, tell you what, this is so brave, right? Get on this. You know what? You know Batman. You know, because he's called Batman, and all these people like, you know, they want women in part. Well, let's take Batman, let's put it on, and let's sell it, and they'll love it. And also, we'll insult everyone in our audience, calling them thick fucks. Yeah, let's not. How about you fucking stop? You know. Just... We'll take Thor and we'll put it on Thor and sale. Marvelous. Fantastic. What a bright future we have ahead of us. You know? People often ask me why I use monsters and strange creatures for my characters. The truth is, because I don't want to go anywhere fucking near humans in a story. Not in this political climate, because someone somewhere will just get upset. There is safety in monsters because they all look different. You can't fall into that trap. You know, you're just free at that point. Monsters are fantastic because they're free from this bullshit that we have just fucking thrown on ourselves. You know, it's nothing to do with fucking furrydom. Don't even know what that shit is. It's just because I can't stand this current discussion. You know, I just can't. I fucking hate it. So yes, I would rather use monsters to tell my story, and I don't even want it to be set on a fucking planet. I'm taking it all the way before the Big Bang just to escape this overly sensitive virtue signaling shit. That's the truth. That's why all my characters are fucking monsters, because I just can't stand this political climate. It's the only way. Oh. Ridiculous. Plus, it's just more fun in terms of design work. But yeah, there's just precious little to look forward to in terms of like films and games now, in terms of vision, because you all know that there's gonna be some bullshit around the corner. You always know you're gonna have to stomach some fucking, you know, fucking hell. Let people say what they want. Even if it's horrible, let them say it anyway. And you know what? The good thing about letting horrible people say horrible things is that we also get to judge them for it and condemn them for it. We're just as free as they are. Shit ideas. Let them say their shit ideas. And if they're shit, we won't do them. If you start restricting what people can and can't say, then people end up becoming afraid to express themselves. I've met so many people who say I keep my opinions to myself because I'm scared that I'm gonna get cancelled or hated on for it. That's awful. What are we doing as a species? How have we done this to ourselves? You should be allowed to say whatever the fuck you want, no matter how evil it is. Because even if it is evil, we'll just hate you for it. We'll just think, fuck you. What an evil cunt you are. Bye. We're not doing your idea. But let's listen to it. Let's hear it. Go on. What's your shit idea? Go on. What's the worst that can happen? If it's a dumb idea, if it's an offensive idea, if it's a terrible idea, we won't do it, will we? We'll just ignore it. We'll say, fuck you. Why restrict people in that way? Why make people feel so scared to speak? To speak? I fucking... God. It's Patrick Starr. Well said, man. Well, thank you, Patrick. See, Patrick knows the way, the way stuff is. You know. So, I don't see what the problem is. Honestly, I don't see what the problem is in conversation. I don't understand what the problem is in talking to people you don't agree with and hearing their ideas. How do you know your opinions are right unless they're challenged? It's basic science. Science doesn't exist to prove itself right. It exists to prove itself wrong. That's why science kind of prevails. Because it's constantly testing itself. How do you know you're correct unless you hear people who don't agree with you, unless you're challenged? How do you know your argument is watertight until you pour in the water? Let's hear what these other people have to say. Left wing and right wing and feminist and misogynist. Let's talk to one. Let's have a nice cup of tea and talk, and then we'll see who's fucking right. You know? And if you're right, then you'll win, won't you? What have you got to worry about? Why hide? Why censor people? If you're right, aren't you? Other people will think like that, won't they? You'll win the argument. But no, we can't let them. We can't even give them a chance. It's no. We cannot allow this to happen. We've got to stop them dead. Censor people. Block them. Blah, 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 blah. The idea that someone I don't agree with, I'll block them. I won't listen to what they've got to say because I hate them. They're the enemy. If someone disagrees with you, grab them by the scruff of the neck and say, why? Speak to me. What are your ideas? Go on then. And talk to one another. Maybe then we'll reach what's known as a solution. Fuck. Well, anyway, that's my little fuck. That's the end of my TED talk. You know. There is no one in this world that I would refuse to have a conversation with. I'm putting that. I would. You know, there is no one. No matter how evil or deprived their ideas might be, understanding the opposite argument is key to beating it. Know your enemy. What harm can come from hearing the other side? You know? What's the worst that could happen from just listening to them? In the same way you want them to listen to you. They're not listening to me. They're not listening to me. Well, are you listening to them? Well, no, I blocked them. Well, then, there you go. Maybe unblock them. Invite them round for a cup of tea and say, okay, let's hash this out, you and me. Again, Patrick Star. He's got it right. You know? Oh. Boy! You know, fuck me. Fuck me. Why do you think I'm writing this book? There's a reason it's a political drama. Because, you know, it's my way of getting my ideas out there in a way that's sort of interesting and hopefully entertaining. But I've got so many friends that disagree with me fundamentally. Dwayne, who voices Ludwig, Chuck, Fontaine, Yeshua. Me and him disagree on almost everything politically. And we're like best friends. Because whenever we disagree on something, we sit down and say, go on then, what's your opinion? Angela, voice actress for Fleischer, again, politically, we're so far apart. But it doesn't get in the way of our friendship. We talk about it. And we're closer for that. We don't tread on eggshells, worried about offending one another. Oh no, I can't say that. We say, "Oh fuck you, go on. What have you got to say?" And and more often than not, we arrive at the same solution. It's like, oh yeah, what were we arguing about? It's, you know, we've both got different ways of getting there, but we both want the same thing. You know. TJ Yearsley, love your content, man. Keep it up. Well, thank you very much. But yeah, honestly, people are like, oh yeah, me and my best friend have never argued about anything. Well, do you talk to them about anything? Oh no, we know each other's boundaries. How can you be friends with someone and put up walls at the same time? Do you like them or not? Are you friends with them or not? If you're too scared to actually ask your friend what their opinions are, how is that friendship? How is that a fucking good thing to hide, you know, what you think? Because I know that if I bring this up to my best friend, they'll hate me forever. What the fuck are you friends with them for? If you know that just by speaking your mind you can get your friend to hate you, what's the point? I think it's great to have conversations with your friends. Deep conversations that mean something. You know? I think that's great. And I think it's even better when you disagree. You know, and people, you can doubt it, but I've heard it happen so many times. You know, people have said to me, "Oh yeah, I've got this friend, but we disagree, and I know that if we talked about it, it would destroy our friendship." And it's like, Well, that's not good. You know? It's really not. Oh. Friendship should be resilient to this shit. You know? Friendship should be sort of like, you know, filled with interesting debates and discussion, talking about the world and the future and the universe and philosophy and society. And you should be able to disagree. You know, you don't want someone who's exactly like you. But yeah, fuck. There you go. I think I'll wrap this stream up. Thanks, guys. Thanks for setting me off. You fucking bastards. Had to go and fucking... You did this. You know. You did it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jack Ulysses, I'm reminded a lot of the lyrics Sound of Silence when thinking of people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Ugh, fuck. And I only speak from experience, by the way. I just want to say this right now. You're not born, fucking in any way good, of good quality. We're all born as just fucking nothing, really. It's all in what you learn. The only reason I'm so open to accept new ideas and talk to people is because in the past I've rejected them. In the past I've refused to listen to anyone who disagrees with me. When I was 18, when I was 19, I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear what anyone else thought. It was all about me. You know, and all I did was cause arguments and got nowhere and stress myself out. And then Michael Jackson said you got to start with the man in the mirror. One day I looked at myself and I thought, maybe I should fucking listen a bit more. Maybe I should take in what the other side's saying. And I started doing that. And I learned that argument's pointless. Debate is everything. And in order to... The difference between an argument and a debate is an argument is just talking. A debate is listening as well. And so I started to listen a bit more. You know? Yeah, Carmen, you met me when I was 20. And now I'm almost 23. So it's been about 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years ago, you know, I was just like fucking arrogant as all shit. Didn't want to hear what anyone else had to say. Wasn't interested. But over the past 4 or 5 years, I've really sort of relaxed. And I've learned to sort of, I'm an old man now, you're right, I'm old. Yeah, I'm 22. I'm old. I've lived a good life. But I learned a very important lesson in my youth, and that's listen. Hi, Dwayne. That's Dwayne I was telling you about. Everything, almost everything politically, me and Dwayne disagree on. But we're still best friends. Learn from me and Dwayne. Okay? Doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't have to be a shouting match. It isn't about who wins. Just have a discussion. Share knowledge. Share perspectives. Anyway, fuck me. Well, you have all failed to entertain me. I was bored, and instead, what did you say? Oh, let's fly off into a rant. Let's do that. Let's just do the fuck you guys. You know, why do I even bother? So yeah. Bye everyone. It's been good. Been a good sort of half conversation. Bye. Now, are you gonna eat that fucking biscuit or not, you fucking little bastard? What was that, you little shit?